Hello and welcome to the 5th NixOS office hours. These office hours happen every other Friday at 3 p.m. American New York time, which is 1900 UTC.
Please use the Zoom hand feature to raise your hand to talk. And if you're not sure how to use the hand feature, it is in the doc that I've linked for the call, and Graham will also post the link into IRC in the Zoom chat.
I'll be on IRC, on Freenode, on the NixOS office hours channel looking for questions as well.
Do note that these calls have a code of conduct. It is the contributor covenant.
As you're aware, I've just gotten back from vacation and I also have a little bit of a cold. I'm really happy to be back with all of you doing this again. These are a lot of fun for me, even if they are a little bit of stretching. Since our last call was a bit flaky and we weren't able to have Ilko do his presentation about Nix Flakes, we were going to have him back this week, but because of a scheduling conflict, we weren't able to do that today. Instead, today we're going to keep it simple and do our best to answer questions about Nix packaging, the Nix language, pull requests, other issues that you might have. We're going to be looking at a document that World of Peace is going to share on IRC and on Zoom.
Okay.
That document has several pull requests that people have asked that we take a look at. And if you do have questions, please go ahead and ask them. I mean, this is really just a shared time for people to ask questions of anything they want to know. I think, go ahead.
I'm not sure how to share into the Zoom chat.
If you click, go to the Zoom window, and in the bottom bar next to share, there's a chat bubble.
Oh, okay. Looks like you've already done it. Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Oh, I meant to actually share a different link, which was, can you share the link to the Zoom raise hand and webinar?
Yes, I can.
That's the one I meant to do. All right.
Okay, so that's how you raise the hand for people who don't know it.
All right. So before this call, I'll go ahead and share my screen here. We were asked to take a look at this issue, pull request packaging purple-slack. You know what? Actually, World of Peace, maybe you should share your screen and do a
Sure,
review.
one moment.
Sure.
Zoom likes to make everything full screen instantly, so it's kind of difficult. Purple Slack, correct?
Yeah, and if you give me just 1 second, I'm going to fix a problem with the recording. All right, I think that should be good. Go ahead.
Okay, here it is. So it seems that Tilton has already had some suggested changes on here. And I guess I'm just going to go do my usual review. So there's a precedent currently for like pname inversion. I've accidentally been encouraging people to put unstable inversion instead of pname like the manual. And you've actually been trying to undo that. So just other contributors realize that you need to put if you're using pname, to put unstable when you're using that versioning format in that attribute. I can't remember the exact issue, so I have to find it. So let me request that. And then I'll find the issue. And if you can see, it's actually a precedent to support Repology for the automatic updater. and it seems that they've posted a lot of offenders in the issue. So it'd be good to go through those if we can.
Maybe for people who aren't so familiar, could you talk about what you're looking for?
Okay, so what I'm looking for, so the usual sort of steps I take to review a PR. Oh, sorry, I had a message on Riot. So the usual things I look at on a PR that's just a simple packaging one is the version and the name, and I'm seeing that they're correct. I could check the revision, but I'm typically a bit too lazy to do that, to be honest. And I'm seeing it only depends on Pigeon, so I usually look at the upstream URL and look for the build dependencies. Appears to just depend on the purple. And any hard-coded paths to like FSH, like FHS paths like user that we need to patch out. I don't see any. So that checks. The description looks correct. Checking the license. Correct. Occasionally the source code has a different license, like it'll have like an extra clause like or later. So then it wouldn't be GPL2, it would be GPL2 plus. But it doesn't seem to be a preamble on the source. So I'm going to ignore that.
We have a
Platform.
couple of questions in the Zoom chat from Tilpner.
Yeah.
The one is package config in native build inputs, Pigeon propagates it anyway. And also, they weren't sure about the platform. It might support other platforms, but it's hard to test for.
Hmm. I don't did you say did he say did they say something about package config needing to be in native build inputs?
I think their question is, should package config be in native build inputs?
Yes, because it uses the package config variables, it probably uses it. And
But
this
but
is actually a bug right here where you have to override the variables because they're hard coded in the PC files.
hmm. So I think the question is in the context of Pigeon propagating it anyway. Should we also set it here, or should we allow that propagation?
No, don't pick up dependencies transitively ever. It definitely needs package config. I'm pretty sure it looks like it, so it would need to be put in properly. So I'll suggest that change. Other than that, I'm going to build it. Yeah, thank you, EYGHB. Thank you. It's nice to hear that I have a peaceful voice. This is pretty much what I do a lot for Nix packages, which is reviewing PRs. So I'm just going to build it, which is going to be, can you see the terminal?
No, we can't. I think
Okay, I
you
think
might only be sharing Firefox.
I need to stop the share to see that then. Let's hope this goes right. Okay, you can see it, right?
Yes.
So we have a live Nix build.
So can you tell me why you build it locally instead of depending on the board to build it?
Because it's convenient to me, and I also want to test execution, so I have to build it anyway.
Cool, good to know.
Well, it doesn't actually know executables, it's a library, so that was quite pointless. Yeah, and I usually use tree to inspect the output to see if everything's appropriate. This looks right. I'm not sure what the pix maps are, but I'm sure they're fine. And this
Red,
is a what was
Red
that?
on IRC is wondering how does it know which version of the expression to build? It looked like maybe you had some tricky tools there.
I just used hub PR checkout and the number, which is really convenient to me to check PRs because I can just check it out and have to do a lot of magic. It's just a nice tool. So that's what I did. Other than that, definitely build it. This is a library for what? I don't think I was paying attention to that detail.
I think this is for using something like the Pigeon, IRC, AIM, etc. client, but also for Slack.
Probably should read the README. Okay, so you need to install the libpurple plugin. So that
Yeah.
means it has to be installed globally, I guess.
For what it's worth, I'd be surprised if you were able to actually test the execution for here without a good bit of work.
Oh, okay.
Uh, so Tiltner is wondering about the platform policy and how we decide which platforms to specify.
Okay, so typically this is a plugin for Pigeon, correct? So I would say it would need to be the same platforms as Pigeon because that's the only software that can use it. So that's what I say for this particular case is that it needs to be the same platforms as Pigeon,
Okay. I,
which I guess must be Linux. Oh, it seems there's a wrapper for Pigeon, so I can probably make an expression to build it. It seems to also be Linux, so it's perfectly fine. Okay, so I think I have to write an expression to test this particular thing. So it seems pretty typical wrapper script here. It looks like the package Pigeon with plugins can be overridden to take up plugins, which is probably a list. So I would just need to make an expression and put purple Slack in plugins to build it to see if it works. So I will do that. Sure, what's going on here? Doesn't seem I can start it properly with it screen sharing.
you're no longer screen sharing.
Oh, one moment.
I wonder if we should go to a second issue or a question.
Yes, you should do that. It seems like the screen sharing is not working for me anymore.
Okay. All right. I will see about screen sharing. We have a question on the Zoom group chat from Tobias Flug. He wants to talk about pull request number 69,008. I'm going to paste that into IRC,
Okay.
which is about removing a Node.js version that reached end of maintenance. This is a general thing he'd like to get feedback on from others. So I think specifically, he's asking about how how do we decide to drop versions? I'm going to open up the issue and screen share.
Okay.
Hi-ho, that's me.
Wait, is this the incomparable Marsum?
Sorry?
What is your GitHub handle?
That'd be Gilligan.
Are you in the issue? Oh, right there. Okay, I see you.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, so you know, the gist of it is that I'm basically wondering what the policy should be on something like this, where I personally don't exactly have any pain with removing Node.js 11. But on the other hand, I don't necessarily see it as like a real security or like real priority issue to get rid of it, because you know, I mean, there's tons and tons and tons of software, obviously, that we have in Nix packages, which you know doesn't have any kind of regulated maintenance or whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, I was just wondering what the process on that should be like. Should we get rid of it? Like, do we have to get rid of it? What's the is it just good enough to say, well, I mean, you know, just pick an all the channel and then you're going to be able to reach it anyway? Or I was just wondering about that.
Oh, okay. So typically, I like to remove software in Nix packages that's end of life. I don't think there's much use for it to be in there in Nix packages and to actually port the removal to stable. And it's part of the picking up garbage project, which I just added. Did you have comments on that, Graham?
Yeah, so and that's exactly right. Keeping end-of-life software in Nix packages sort of gives the impression that we are maintaining it.
Right.
And we are definitely not maintaining Node.js 11. So in that case, yeah, so the typical thing we would want to do is remove it from Nix packages before the next stable release. And then provide, if people have trouble or need to get this older version, say, okay, you can get that, but you have to fetch this old version of Nix packages.
Because we don't formally support this.
Right.
Right. I mean, you know, the only, and maybe, I mean, that makes the complete perfect sense to me. I'm completely perfectly happy with that. The only question that pops up in my mind, and maybe I'm just thinking too much about that, is that in a way, like I said, there is plenty of software which is like end of line in the sense that nobody is going to change it anymore, right? So yeah, okay, but I mean that's probably not a good argument to keep it anyway. So
I think the difference is that Node.js is maintained, so it's not like an abandoned piece of software. It's just an end of life version of that particular software. So you definitely want to remove that version.
And
yeah.
I think it comes down to the importance of software. Like Python and Node.js and similar projects have I think we need to have a higher bar for those projects than we do for some random command line utility.
Did you mean a higher bar for what could be accepted?
No, like Node.js obviously has their own release schedule, so I think there we need to follow that. But because it's such an important piece of software, depended on by so many packages, which is not the case for I don't know some random command line utility.
Yeah,
but I mean,
so
but that logic would mean to be more careful, obviously, about removing Node.js versions. But I mean, well, now that we're looking at version 11 going end of line, it's fair enough to just remove it.
Yeah.
So I guess that does actually bring up an important point. So Python 2 is going end of life at the end of this year, and we will not be removing it right away. And that is because a lot of tools packaged in Nix packages depend upon it. So I think there is an edge case here, which is that if there's important software in Nix packages that depends on Node.js 11, definitely want to keep it. If all of the software that we have that depended on Node.js 11 is easily upgraded to one that is not end of life, that would be a preferred route. Does that sum it up, Adesplatis?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, there's no reason why we should drop it if there is software depending on it. But we should also not keep it around just because.
Yep, I agree fully.
Yeah, makes sense. Cool. Thank you.
You're welcome. There wasn't an active PR for this issue, correct?
So far, that was only someone reporting that it should be removed. So
Oh, okay.
just do an. I mean, it should be easy enough.
Okay.
To PR to actually remove it.
Okay, thank you. So we have that, and it's unactionable.
I think we have a question from, or a pull request from Samuel DR. Samuel DR, can you talk? All right, Samuel's microphone is not working, so I will go ahead and pull it up. It is on that list. The title is Various, Add Support for Raspberry Pi 4, pull request number 68265. Let me, oops. Let's see.
Go.
All right. These are changes to make NixOS run on the Raspberry Pi 4B.
Oh, I recall seeing this PR.
I can introduce it if you prefer.
Oh, excellent.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
please.
you work. Hello.
I just had to make the input work, so the audio was on the output. Okay, this PR is basically adding a new SD image builder, but specialized for the Raspberry Pi 4. The reason we need this, and we can't rely on the current generic AR64 builder, is because currently upstream U-boot and the upstream kernel are upstreaming themselves the Raspberry Pi 4 stuff. And my cat just decided to shut up.
It's saying hi to everyone. Hello, welcome to office hours.
So this brings in a new builder and a couple new kernel configurations for this other specific Raspberry Pis. It should make, I'm not sure how to introduce this bit, but during, between 1903 and 1909, I changed something about the AR64 generic image. Before 19.03 and before, it was building the image with the kernels and initrds in a FAT32 partition, more like you would for a Raspberry Pi, but this caused issues because oftentimes you would feel that the small boot partition, the boot partition was about 120 megs, I think. So a couple rebuilds and then you can't rebuild.
Oh, right. This is the issue with it filling up quickly.
Yeah, so the change now is that the files are on the main partition, and the FAT32 partition for Raspberry Pis is we are now treating it like an opaque blob that's the U-boot for Raspberry Pi only. This, in turn, makes the image harder to use if you don't want to use U-boot on Raspberry Pis for some reason.
Oh.
And since U-boot currently doesn't work for the Raspberry Pi 4, total upstream U-boot, there's already work for upstreaming it. This means that we need something maybe in between the time it gets mainlined in U-boot and the kernel to make a downstream build of the Raspberry Pi kernel and a specific image for the Raspberry Pi.
Right, or it's broken, correct?
It just doesn't work. There's just no support currently.
Oh, okay. So it just does not supported.
So I guess I'm not sure where to go from here. I think in principle I'm in favor of making NixOS work nicely and easily on the Raspberry Pi 4B. Can you talk about the breaking changes and who's going to suffer from that, but who's also
Okay.
going to benefit?
Right now, there's no breaking changes. It's only new stuff. The main issue I can see with that is that we will get a specific kernel built for the Raspberry Pi, a specific disk image built for the Raspberry Pi. So this may lead to other people wanting to introduce other boards, specific derivation for other boards in the NixOS and Nix packages instead of relying on the mainline kernel like we used to do.
Okay, then are you good for merge? I mean, I see no reason. I would defer to you in this case. I think you're the subject matter expert for NixOS and Nix packages for this.
I like just other people to look at it, see if they smell anything bad in it, but I think everything is fine, and maybe other people with the Raspberry Pi could test it, see, verify it works for them too. But I checked it on the 2 gigs and 4 gigs variants. I think there's an issue with the 4 gig variant that's not relevant to the PR. It's the mainline kernel, not the mainline, the downstream kernel that doesn't get the tippy top of the 4 gigabytes, but I just didn't check more. Maybe it's just that I didn't check right.
I see. Does it say you approved it then?
Not yet. I should do that.
Yes, so because usually when authors see that, you don't have the explicit approval, they feel like their PR is sort of in the air. And you did test it, so you're pretty certain about it.
Oh yeah, definitely booted. I think the only issue I can see with that is it opens the door for more board specific, more board specific images in Nix packages.
And that's something you don't want, correct?
Not exactly. I don't want it, but I don't want it either.
I'm not sure what that means.
It means that at first it means there's more build made for variant boards, so more maintenance for those targets, because we need someone that can verify it still works whenever stuff changes.
Correct. Now I think I understand. That's completely valid point. That could become very difficult if you don't have enough resources for that.
I was almost thinking this is more something that could go into a repo like NixOS hardware, that the kernel changes could go into the main Nix packages, but the image building stuff could go somewhere else. But maybe something to talk about later when there's another board that wants to get included, and we'll see. Maybe we just remove the Raspberry Pi specific build once it gets mainlined.
I see.
Yeah, that's so. I wonder almost about setting up like a hardware lab. I don't know what that actually means, but like hardware where we can easily test stuff on different pieces of like embedded boards and whatnot. I don't know what that would look like for Hydra, but it would be pretty interesting to be able to verify that things keep working on these different boards.
Yeah, sure.
Cool. All right. Well, I will link that to. I linked that into IRC. I'll link that into the Zoom chat as well. And we'll get some eyes on that. Thank you, Samuel.
So it appears in IRC that EYGHB has a question about sort of like pull request etiquette. And the exact question was when World of Peace has opened 3 conversations regarding changes, is there any good practice? E.g., currently I commented something like, I fix this now, and then mark it as resolved for each conversation. And I'm pretty sure that's like de facto practice. Please do that because it does help me to see that the changes that I requested were resolved by you, and to always push the changes and then mark them resolved. So don't resolve them as you're writing it because I can't actually be sure that's done it. So I just want to mention that.
Yeah, that's a good call out. Using those tools makes it easier to find and keep track of the state of the pull request. Cool. Well, so I don't actually know if we have any of the release managers right now, but let's talk a little bit about 1909. And actually, I see Red on IRC has asked a question about Minecraft. Let's do that first. We can always get back to the release. Red has asked about pull request number 68,175. I will share that on Zoom shortly.
I think that pull request is ready to merge. Last time I checked it. And says Infosys thinks similar.
Well, should we go ahead and merge it?
I think Infinisil might have wanted to have tested it.
Okay.
So I think they'll probably do that.
All right. Oh, yeah. Okay. I see that on.
Yeah, see, I added the label port to stable because I'm pretty sure it is broken on stable because of this.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So specifically, Red's question is, one moment. Red's question is, my daughter is dragging me over PR 68175 Minecraft. It's not my pull requests, but all of the workstations we play games on in the house are on the unstable channel. If they're in a situation where something isn't ready to merge, but they still want to use it, how do you go about doing that? You know, I think you actually demonstrated that earlier, World of Peace. Are you able to screen share again?
I think so. And actually, the best thing to do here, I think, would either to be use like a fork.
Yeah. Are you able to demonstrate that?
Yeah, sure. But if you want to just build the change in NixEnv, I can show how to do that. Let me get the pull request link and then I'll share.
Sure. Oh, so specifically, Red is asking about how to get that PR branch into their NixOS-rebuild.
Oh, so they'd have to use a fork of Nix packages most likely, locally. I don't think they could use an overlay because it's just so rewritten.
Are you gonna try and screen share or?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I found the PR. Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, let me exit full screen. Okay, you can see everything, correct?
Yep, perfectly.
Okay, so just pretty much the same procedure. So if you wanted to just, since it's not for like NixOS rebuild, it's NixEnv. You just have to build the expression on that branch, and then just like NixEnv the result symlink, which I will do that. I guess it's Minecraft. But yeah, did they need a demonstration of how to get a local clone of Nix packages running with patches over it?
I think showing how to use NixOS-rebuild with a local Nix packages would be good.
Oh. Okay.
You could just do the build one. You don't have to do the
Yeah,
search.
so I could explain exactly how to do that procedure, but I can also just show how to do this as well. So it's pretty simple. You just nixenv-i result symlink, and then you have it. And that should work at least temporarily until the channel advances and the PR is merged. It is unfortunate for users that certain situations you get into it where you have to wait and the program is just broken. I know for other programs like Discourse, it breaks all the time as soon as it updates, and it's not backwards compatible. So it's quite a pain for certain users who use it. It's a pain in general for users who use it.
Sure.
So yeah, that is the procedure to do that. Yeah, just removed it.
Watching you do that, this live demo of building and installing a pull request is just a reminder to me of how incredible Nix is.
Which exactly is the incredible part. I can cancel the screen share.
Oh no, just the live demo of checking out a pull request, doing a Nix build, then running the executable, and you just have a slightly modified version of Minecraft from some pull request. It's really great.
Right, that is absolutely fabulous. Now that I think about it, I'm absolutely spoiled and privileged. I didn't even know it.
By the way, I like this Nix remove thingy that you've got going there, which I suppose is basically just some FZF wrapper around something, right?
Yes, it is. It's actually Infinicil's little thing. I think he has the bot to give the command to do that. I definitely have that in my config because I don't really use NixEnv.
Okay, cool. Actually, so if you happen to have a link to that, so I don't have to reinvent it, that'd be nice.
Sure.
Thank
I
you.
think the command is.
I mean, it's easy enough to create, but again, still, like, I don't have to recreate it.
I did it in the NixOS office hours. I believe that's the command for the bot to just print that out if it's working. Okay, we've answered that question. I hope as best as I could.
Are you able to see the Nix expression attrs shared in NixOS-office
Oh yeah,
hours?
you can definitely do that. I completely forgot about that, but it's you can definitely do that. You want me to screen share the exact snippet?
Yeah, if you could. I can't copy paste and things are a bit weird here.
Okay, let me.
Also, we are coming up to about 5 minutes remaining. So if there's any other lingering questions or pull requests you'd like us to take a look at, now would be a good time to share them.
I did actually share one earlier on, but I'm not sure if you're going to be able to fit it into 5 minutes. So.
Oh, is this the oldest open pull request?
Yeah, exactly.
So I just gisted it.
Perfect. And so
I
this
believe
is actually
accurate.
something you could put into your Nix expression for your configuration.nix, right into system packages.
Yes, what it actually does, it does import Nix packages again, which is kind of slow. But you can definitely have a Minecraft attribute. And I'm pretty sure Addis said you can just wrap that into environment system packages, just that whole snippet.
Perfect.
So, okay.
Could you pull up this pull request from Toby number 2281?
Sure.
This is an old one.
Okay, let me drop that just in there. That was Red who wanted to see that, right?
Yes.
So there are some comments on that one, and I don't think it's necessary to read through the top ones. But if you scroll down,
You posted the.
Yeah. I posted it in the Zoom chat.
Oh, okay. Let me get that.
And you'll link to a specific comment.
Yeah, I think everything on top of that is not really relevant. But starting from that one, it seems that either there might be something left in there which is in some way useful, or the whole thing can just be regarded as outdated. I'm not entirely sure.
Screen sharing. Okay. So what exactly was the details you want to look at?
Which comment was it exactly?
Scroll down. Wait, yeah. Just keep on scrolling down. It's like way too much stuff going on. Yeah, okay, that was slightly too far. A bit up. And yeah, stop here. There we go. Basically, he says like these could be the remaining things, but even then afterwards, someone is pointing out that the date stuff or time stuff in GCC is superseded by some other change. So it's quite possible that there is nothing left in there which is relevant. But I'm not even closely an expert on these topics, so I'm not sure.
So it's just like a little list of like possible things that are obsoleted by this PR already, obsoleted on master.
I guess the idea was that if anything, then these few things could still be of relevance. But then even then afterwards, someone, if you scroll down, someone is pointing out that even parts of that are now also irrelevant. Here we go, like the GCC stuff has been superseded by no. So it's quite possible that there's absolutely nothing left in this PR, which is, I don't know how many years old now.
Is the author even present? It doesn't seem to be for many years. Why don't we just close it?
Yeah, I'd be inclined to close it.
Yep.
I think a lot of these, I mean, as the comment points out, a lot of them are already done. It's a pretty sizable pull request.
It's never going to get review.
Yeah.
It's just not going to, because it's just so big and old that it's impossible to parse.
Yeah, too hard to merge. So let's go ahead and close it. Thank you, Toby.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, no disrespect to the authors, just that we shouldn't be keeping PRs. Oh, this is a problem. If we keep them open for this long, we get situations like this. So we should just close them.
All right, and we're at about 1 minute left. That was the last comment and last question pull request posted. We'll let World of Peace finish up this comment.
Okay. Okay, I've closed it.
Yay. One less.
One less. Ancient PR. Okay, I'm going to stop my share.
All right, and that concludes the NixOS office hours for this week. NixCon 2019, just a reminder, is coming up on October 25th through October 27th in Brno, Czech Republic. You can go to 2019.nixcon.org. I will paste a link to that in chat. Oops, no, I won't. Maybe World of Peace can do that. You can go to 2019.nixcon.org for tickets. And I'll be there, and I hope to see a lot of y'all there. Our next office hours are going to be on October 4th. And if you would like to be a guest in a future call, or you have something interesting that you've been working on, we'd love to have you on. And World of Peace will also share a link to a survey where you can put in some information, and that'll go into our system, and we'll reach out to you. Thank you all so much for coming, and I hope this has been good. And I'll see you all in a couple weeks. Thanks. Bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.